Amish Sunday night singings happen every other week. Parents think their teenagers are singing hymns and socializing. Here is what actually happens when adults are not watching closely. Adult supervision. Sunday night singings take place at a family's home or barn. The host parents are present, but they do not hover. They stay nearby, allowing the youth freedom to gather without constant oversight. Singings are designed to give young people space to interact and begin courtship. Older church members may drop off their children and leave entirely. They trust the community structure. The youth know the boundaries. But the lack of direct supervision creates opportunities for behavior parents might not approve of. Flirting methods. Amish youth flirt, but they do it subtly. A boy shows interest by sitting directly across from a girl at the table. He makes eye contact during singing. He smiles when she looks his way. Between songs, he might make a joke or comment directed at her. A girl shows interest by laughing at his jokes, holding his gaze, and positioning herself where he can easily talk to her. These signals are quiet and easy to miss. But the other youth notice. They see who is sitting across from whom. By the end of the evening, most youth have a sense of which pairs are forming. The flirting is happening constantly throughout the evening. Song selection. The hymns sung at Sunday night singings are different from those sung in church. Church hymns are slow, solemn, and sung in High German. Sunday night singings include faster, livelier songs. Many are in English rather than German. The youth sing gospel songs, spirituals, and Pennsylvania Dutch folk songs. The pace is upbeat. The atmosphere is less formal. This is by design. The energy level at a singing is higher than at church. Youth are not expected to sit silently and reverently. They are expected to participate enthusiastically. Between songs, there is laughter, conversation, and noise. The singing itself lasts about 2 hours. During that time, the group might sing 20 or more songs. Someone suggests a song, and the group begins. There is no song leader or director. The youth know the songs from memory. They sing in 4-part harmony without instruments. The sound fills the barn or room. It is loud and energetic, not quiet and meditative like church singing. Private conversations. Between songs, the youth talk. Boys lean across the table to speak to girls. Conversations happen in small groups or one-on-one. Topics vary. Some talk about work, farming, or family news. Others make jokes or tease each other. Romantic conversations happen too. A boy might compliment a girl's dress or comment on something she said earlier. A girl might ask a boy about his work or his family. These conversations are often the first step toward courtship. If a boy and girl talk easily and enjoy each other's company during the singing, that increases the likelihood he will ask her for a ride home later. The conversations are not long. Each break between songs lasts only a few minutes. But over the course of 2 hours, there are many opportunities to talk. By the end of the singing, a boy who is interested in a particular girl has usually found several chances to speak with her. He uses these moments to gauge her interest before deciding whether to ask for a ride home. Food and drinks. Around 10 p.m., the singing portion ends. The host family brings out food and drinks. Typical offerings include cookies, brownies, cake, popcorn, pretzels, and fruit. Drinks include lemonade, iced tea, or punch. In stricter conservative communities, this is all that is served. But in more liberal communities, especially among older Rumspringa age youth, alcohol sometimes appears not openly and not provided by the host family. But some youth bring beer or other drinks and share them discreetly. This is not universal. Many singings remain entirely alcohol-free, but it happens often enough that it is not shocking. Parents generally do not know. The youth who drink do so away from the main group, outside the barn, or in a less visible area. Most do not drink heavily. A beer or two is common. Getting drunk is frowned upon even among the more liberal youth. The presence of alcohol reflects the broader reality of Rumspringa. Youth are experimenting with behaviors they will likely abandon once they join the church. Drinking at singings is part of that experimentation for some. The pairing off. After the food is served and the socializing continues, boys begin asking girls for rides home. This is the key moment of the evening. A boy approaches a girl and asks if he can take her home in his buggy. If she says yes, it signals mutual interest. If she says no, he moves on without drama. The pairings happen gradually over the course of an hour or so. Some boys ask early, others wait until later in the evening. Girls who are interested in a particular boy position themselves where he can approach easily. Girls who are not interested in anyone or who do not want a ride from a specific boy make themselves less available. They stay in groups or leave early with siblings. The pairings are not random. Most boys have decided before the singing even started whom they want to ask. They have been watching the girl for weeks or months, building up to this moment. The singing is simply the socially acceptable venue for making the approach. Buggy ride reality. The buggy ride home is where courtship truly begins. Once a boy and girl leave the singing together, they are alone for the first time. The ride might take 30 minutes to an hour depending on how far the girl lives. During that time, they talk. The conversation is more personal than what happened at the singing. They ask about each other's families, interests, and plans for the future. The boy is trying to determine if the girl is someone he could marry. The girl is doing the same. Marriage is always the goal. Amish youth do not date casually. They date with the intention of finding a spouse. If the ride goes well, the couple will likely spend more time together at the girl's house after they arrive. If the ride is awkward or uncomfortable, it may be their only time together. The buggy ride is also somewhat private. There are no parents in the buggy, no chaperones. What happens during the ride is between the boy and the girl. Most rides are entirely appropriate. But some couples kiss or hold hands, behaviors that would not be allowed in public. Late night talks. When the couple arrives at the girl's house, they do not immediately say goodnight. They spend additional time together, often 2 or 3 hours. They sit on the porch or in the living room and talk. The girl's parents are usually home, but they do not sit with the couple. They stay in another room, giving the young people privacy. The conversations cover serious topics. What do you want in a marriage? How many children do you want? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? These are not lighthearted dates. They are interviews for a lifelong partnership. If the couple is serious, this pattern repeats weekly or bi-weekly. The boy takes the girl home after singings. They spend hours talking. The relationship deepens. Eventually, if both are satisfied, the boy proposes. From first buggy ride to engagement might take only a few months. Amish courtships move quickly because the purpose is clear from the start. Bundling practice. In some conservative Amish communities, a practice called bundling still occurs. Bundling involves the courting couple spending the night together in the same bed, fully clothed. This happens at the girl's house with her parents' knowledge and permission. The couple lies on top of the bed covers, dressed in their day clothes. In stricter applications, a wooden board is placed between them, or the boy is sewn into a type of sleeping bag to prevent physical contact. The purpose is to allow the couple to talk privately for extended periods without the temptation of physical intimacy. Bundling typically happens late at night after the rest of the family has gone to bed. The couple talks until early morning, then the boy leaves before the family wakes. This practice seems strange to outsiders, but it serves a function. It gives courting couples uninterrupted time to get to know each other in a setting that is private but not entirely unsupervised. The parents are in the house. The couple is fully clothed. The expectation is that nothing inappropriate will happen, and in most cases, it does not. Bundling is not practiced in all communities. Many have abandoned it in favor of more supervised courtship. But it persists in the most conservative groups. Rumspringa freedom. Sunday night singings happen during the Rumspringa period. Rumspringa is the time between age 16 and baptism when Amish youth are given more freedom to explore the world and make their own choices. During this period, youth are not yet church members. They are not bound by the same rules that govern baptized adults. This means singings can include behaviors that would not be acceptable later. Some youth dress in more modern clothing for singings. Some experiment with forbidden technologies. Some drink alcohol. Some engage in physical intimacy with romantic partners. Not all youth participate in these behaviors. Many remain conservative and follow church expectations even during Rumspringa. But the freedom exists. Parents know this. The church knows this. The understanding is that youth need to make their own choices about baptism and commitment to the Amish way of life. Singings are part of that process. They provide a structured setting for socialization and courtship within the Amish community, but with enough freedom for youth to test boundaries. Most youth eventually choose baptism and marriage within the church. The behaviors they experimented with during Rumspringa are left behind, but those behaviors are part of the reality of what happens at Sunday night singings. The Rumspringa period is often misunderstood by outsiders who see it as a time of wild rebellion. In reality, most Amish youth remain closely connected to their families and communities during this time. They continue living at home. They continue working on the family farm or in family businesses. They continue attending church services, though they are not yet members. The difference is that they are no longer subject to strict discipline. If they violate community standards, they cannot be shunned because they are not yet members. This creates a grace period where experimentation is tolerated. The church views Rumspringa as necessary. Young people must choose baptism freely. If they are forced to join without experiencing alternatives, their commitment will be shallow. By allowing youth to test boundaries and see what the outside world offers, the church ensures that those who choose baptism do so with full knowledge. The retention rate supports this approach. 85 to 90% of Amish youth who go through Rumspringa eventually choose baptism and remain Amish for life. Sunday night singings play a crucial role in this retention. They keep courtship within the Amish community. If young people had no structured way to meet potential spouses, they might seek partners outside the community. Singings ensure that romantic relationships form between Amish youth, which increases the likelihood that both will choose baptism. What happens during an Amish Sunday night singing is more complex than parents might assume. Yes, hymns are sung. Yes, youth socialize in a group setting. But the real purpose is courtship. The singing is a venue for boys and girls to interact, assess each other as potential spouses, and begin relationships that will lead to marriage. Much of what happens is wholesome and appropriate. Youth sing together, talk, share food, and get to know each other. But some of what happens reflects the freedoms of Rumspringa. Flirting, private conversations, buggy rides without supervision, late-night talks at the girl's house, in some cases bundling, in some cases alcohol. These are not universal experiences. Different communities have different norms. Conservative groups maintain stricter oversight. Liberal groups allow more freedom. But across all communities, singings are where courtship begins. Parents send their 16-year-old children to singings knowing that romantic relationships will form. They trust the community structure and the values they have instilled to keep things from going too far. For the most part, that trust is justified. The vast majority of Amish youth who attend singings eventually marry within the church, raise large families, and live according to Amish values. The singings, despite the freedoms they allow, serve their purpose. They bring young people together. They create opportunities for marriage. They keep courtship within the Amish community rather than leading youth to seek partners outside. From the church's perspective, singings work. From the parents' perspective, their children are socializing with other Amish youth in a relatively safe environment. From the youth's perspective, singings are one of the few times they have freedom, privacy, and the chance to form relationships on their own terms. What parents see is hymns and socialization. What actually happens is courtship, experimentation, and the beginning of lifelong partnerships. Both realities are true. The singings are exactly what they appear to be, and much more than that at the same time.